This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeremy Wolf.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wolf, and today I'm joined by Michael Cunniff. Michael joins us from the Super Agency and Fairway IMC. He was actually nominated by a past guest of the show, Priscilla Fletcher from Priscilla's Plumbing. I actually met with her and her team like a week or two ago, and then she thought of Michael. She said he would be an excellent guest for the podcast. He is in a similar space to me. He does marketing services and things of that nature, also mortgages, which we're going to get into. So I said, let me connect with Michael, and turns out he's a pro at this. He's going to teach me about a thing or two today, right, Michael?
Well, I think we're going to teach each other. I think that's the goal here. We're going to kind of volley back and forth. If tennis, pickleball, whatever you're into, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a ton of fun. First off, thank you so much for having me on here. Second, thank you to Priscilla. She is also a social media rock star. You do see her all throughout social media doing her thing. She's never afraid to just get out there, put herself out there, create new relationships. So that's a wonderful thing. That's something that I would suggest to any professional at a baseline level. So shout out to her, and thank you very much for having me on today. Let's roll the sleeves up.
All right, let's get into it. So let's start off from basics here, right? Mm-hmm. Tell everybody a little bit about the Super Agency, and then we'll get into Fairway IMC, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Did you hear that? I took a deep breath. I got to get really, it's a deep breath. Here we go. Where do I start? I'm going to keep it short, of course. I want to truncate it, keep it as short as possible, because there's so many stories that we can tell as professionals. But the most important thing that I want to put across here, I like that you have here, know, like, and trust. So I want to make sure that whatever stories I share, I'm sharing them out of gratitude, out of a side of being humble and respecting the people that I've had, the ability to work with through the years. So the Super Agency is a fantastic thing. We'll call it that came out of my early career in print advertising. So I was in print advertising for a long time with Voice Media, Village Voice Media. It's a pretty big weekly here in the United States, if not the largest weekly in the United States. It's a very fast-paced type of advertising experience. So you're creating like week over week advertisement. And about a decade ago, maybe more now if I date myself, you'd go out to business owners and you talk to local business owners and they'd say, I don't know where my logo is. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't have a menu online. I don't, stuff really didn't exist, so it was pretty cool to get out there and see the pain points, first and foremost, and create relationships with people. Now to bridge that, I ended up becoming a director of admissions for the Art Institute. It was in Fort Lauderdale. We would bring in digital creators, website developers, all kinds of awesome people like that. And there was a bridge there. I kind of had like an aha moment. I said, listen, can you help this person with a logo, help this person with a website? And it was a great relationship. People would come back and say, wow, that person you sent to me, they were just so professional, so great. I started to say, wow, this could be a business. So started a brick and mortar on Gulf Ocean Mile in East Fort Lauderdale. It was a great experience. We did the Gulf Ocean Mile Merchant Association. I mean, we really we're doing our best to put on our best thrift store suit jackets and get out there and just try to be professionals, and so many great relationships came out of that. That was called Monster Mind Marketing. And then that segued around 2012, 13 into just full on digital marketing. I mean, I remember there was a point in marketing and advertising, you could probably agree with me and other people will that are hearing this, when you would almost like sell the opposite. It was almost like you would sell a website and then you'd give away social media. It'd be like, give you Facebook and Instagram was still there at that time, but new territory. So it would be like built into bigger marketing plans. And then somewhere along the lines, it was like, I'll do a free website for you if you're interested in doing the social media digital packages, Right. So what an interesting thing. And I was speaking the other day as I was preparing for your podcast, and one of the important connections for all of that was search engine optimization. So I think in its pure point, it always boils back down to search engine optimization. That's what professionals are looking for, business are looking for, brands. So out of that came the super agency. We've made it. A lot of the clients I was working with early on in my career were in the high net worth and ultra high net worth demographic. There are a lot of people that will hear this podcast and they will cringe, who know me personally in my life, because I have worked very hard to kind of mesh the world between, humble and gratitude, and of course that other side of the world, which is, pretentious and money and everything that comes with the high net worth and ultra high net worth. Now, I want you to know we're all people, we're all human beings, right? Just because you have maybe more success or more money, whatever that may be, doesn't make you any different than the other person on the other side. So what's important is to kind of mesh those things together and just give more of a humble voice, an organic voice to both sides. So I was working with yacht brands like Van Dutch Yachts, a supercar dealership. The New Auto Toy Store at one point was the largest exotic dealer in the United States, having over 300 supercars. Just incredible chiropractic teams, hospitality companies, like at that time, J Hospitality, which has turned into Handcrafted Hospitality. A shout out to Mark.
J Hospitality? Or you're talking about
Mark Falsetto.
I can't believe I can't remember Mark's name. Mark bought my old house in Oakland Park. He recently moved over.
That's so cool.
I connected with him many years ago. He's fantastic.
There you go. So now you're seeing the real estate stuff. I got to give a shout out to Mark Falsetto too. I didn't know I'd be mentioning him in the podcast. That was definitely not pre-thought, but J Hospitality was such a big part of that early onset of my career. I mean, I remember times when I would sit with him, and he's an incredible business owner and a leader. And he would say a lot of things to me eye to eye that would say, listen, if people don't understand what you're doing, it's not for them. Find the people that believe in what you're doing, that see what you're doing. And I understood that was a big part of his brand, and ultimately he's with Anthony Bruno now with that they sold Anthony's Pizza. They're Taco Craft now.
Runway 84 now.
What? Come on. Are you kidding me? Forget about it. So, so now you can hear kind of some of the people that I'm connected with in life. And that's why I say the super agency became kind of this cool thing. I didn't know what we were doing, but we knew what we were doing, so we were running and gunning within this new digital space. SEO became so hot in this new format of video and like what we're doing right now with podcasts. It's just so exciting the way that people can share information. So to get back on track there, the Van Dutch Yachts. I also give a shout out to a mentor I had there. That was Anko Maas. Anko's an international guy. He's Dutch, and I apologize to do impressions, but he had this thing that he would do.
Bring it on. Let's go.
He'd say, Michael, when you do marketing, there's two things you must do in marketing. First, you must boom, and then you must wow.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
You must boom, and then you must what?
You must boom, then you must wow.
The boom and wow.
Okay, I was like boom and then wow. And I'll tell you, people will hear this podcast. I'm going to share it with some friends, and they're going to say their little comment. They're going to say boom, then wow, boom, wow. The boom wow system. That's what we used to call it. And what it was like a Van Dutch yacht. I don't know if you know what that is. Beautiful avant-garde yacht. It's owned by Brett David, Prestige Marine now. They're foraying into all kinds of amazing collaborations around the world. I think they're in France or Monaco right now. F1 going on, but it was an incredible experience with that brand because it was an avant-garde yacht. It won the best yacht design in the world in 2013. And Anko would tell me the way that he got to where he was in his career was boom and then wow, basically saying that if you put something in front of a person, you leave it alone. You just simply slide it across the table and boom, that's your boom moment. You have an opportunity to present something, to present it with no words. The other person must say, Jeremy, hook me up. What are they going to say?
Wow, baby, wow.
That's it. And what happens if they don't? He'd say, he'd go, there's a podcast, throw it in the trash. He'd say, and what most people do is we try to expand on that, right? It's like almost like asking a person who doesn't do what we do. It's asking a yacht builder who's not a yacht builder, say, hey, listen, how would you change this yacht? And I would imagine there are, breadcrumbs there. There's information. There's things you can grow from there. But what he was basically saying was that every time you create something or do something, it has to be boom and then wow. And if it's not received with that wow, you got to go back to the drawing board. You've got to create it or present it in a way that it's wow. And that's always stuck with me throughout my career. It's kind of a differentiation between being OCD, a person. I'm OCD, I could be a perfectionist, things like that. It just takes a different twist on those type of words and saying boom and then wow. It's in its simplicity. So what does that mean? Why did I tell this story? The super agency. That's where super came from. So I really wasn't looking for a big word. I wasn't looking to be fancy. We're just looking to be super. That's it. So we were super because we would boom and then wow. And everything we did, people would go, wow, that's super. If I hang out with you long enough, you're going to say it later today, Jeremy. You're going to say that's super cool. This is just super, man. What a super thing, So I've noticed the internationals that I've had the blessing to work with. Keep it short, keep it fresh, keep it original, keep it organic. Boom, wow, short, cool, fun, super. All the things that we really enjoy. If you were to take away all of the things that we put into the experience, that communication is extremely important, but like kind of how I'm rambling on right now, but communication is important, but keeping it short and simple, there's something like eloquent there. And that was the luxury side. So that was the how incredibly difficult it is to create simplicity. So that was the super agency. We started segueing into all these amazing things, working with these wonderful clients. Shout out to the Fort Lauderdale Magazine, 15,000 plus voters that vote year over year for 5 years in a row. We've been blessed to be best of Fort Lauderdale. So we have best ad agency, best PR agency, and I think 1, maybe 2 years out of those 5 in a row, got best videographer. And I thought that was so cool because it just, to hear like words of validation or to get, a simple, thing of appreciation, it really keeps you going, keeps you excited. We lost our camera there, but I'm still here.
Your battery is exhausted, my friend. So I want to, while you get your camera back up and running, I want to dig in. There's a lot to unpack there, brother. You went through a lot of stuff, and there's a lot I want to touch upon that I think is going to be applicable to your run-of-the-mill business owner out there. As you know, I don't know, we spoke briefly before the show, but kind of what I do, you mentioned a couple of things that you had a background in print and now you're in the digital space. What I do outside the podcast, I publish some hyper-local community publications in Cooper City and surrounding areas. We do some stuff. It's all about micro-targeting. And I speak to a lot of local business owners. And one of the main pain points that I encounter when it comes to marketing is just there is so much noise out there nowadays. There's so much clutter, so many, like if you just go into social media, you mentioned earlier about how that's obviously the new craze, and there's just so much there, and there's so much to get overwhelmed by as a business owner. And what tends to happen from my experience is that business owners, they jump in and try certain things short term, and they don't get the results they'd hope for. They get discouraged. They try something else, and then over time, they kind of resign themselves to growing their business through word of mouth and referrals. They stop traditional advertising. They stop getting out there and marketing, and they kind of get complacent with that. And they get resigned to that. So how can you, I guess, make that process or introduce that type of business owner into this space and take away some of that, the feelings of being overwhelmed, and kind of help them transition into today's marketing space?
Well, what I think that's a fantastic segue. And the most important thing is that every person and business owner has this little device in their hand, the little cell phone, so we all have the 4K cameras. And the words I've been using a lot are organic, right? Mm-hmm. Just showing who you are, using Priscilla as that example. You had your previous guest.
Putting yourself out there. Right.
Put yourself out there. People want to work with people they know, like, and trust. It's not always about business. We're not robots. We're not in a box. We exist outside of this box. It's important to bring what exists outside of that box into that box. I heard something funny the other day. Someone says, if you have a circle or you build a circle and I'm not included in that circle, I'm going to build a bigger circle. And I think social media is kind of like that. You just have to kind of build a circle, and keep building people and including people in that circle, and your circle will grow. I know that's like a kind of a cryptic answer. It doesn't help a normal business owner. So to shoot right from the hip, it depends on what industry you're in. I would definitely suggest if you're interested in digital marketing, you're interested in advertising, or it's a kind of a peer-to-peer thing. Like, let's say it's one company within an industry that you're in, and you're seeing that, and it's like a moving company, and you're like, wow, they are just crushing. I love what they do. See what they do. Write down what they do. See especially what's important to you, what you enjoy as a business owner. That way you can bring the sales part, the business part, the meat and potatoes to the table, and you can allow the marketing professional to connect the dots. And I think if you do that, you can both be professionals, instead of coming to the table and asking a marketer for business or sales advice. And I've noticed the most in my career that when people bring me their pain points and their business points, it's easier for me to put creativity to that or to put a platform to that. I can oftentimes see myself getting lost in the sauce with a business owner. And then I think what every marketer will have, let's get on the marketer hat for a second here. Every marketer has always said, after working with a business owner, it's almost like you've done it. And you can start that business. You kind of feel as if you've learned about a business. Well, I don't know if it should always be that way. I think you should have R&D, like research and development within an industry, and you should strive to create platforms and help that business owner. But you really have to dive into what's important to the business owner. Some things, some businesses are as simple as having, a website that you can check out, or doing local advertising, like you're talking about, that micro advertising, micro targeting. It's so important nowadays. What a great thing,
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, there is so much noise, so much clutter. And another thing that business owners get discouraged by is they think they have to reach everybody. Right. They go and they try to target too large of an audience. They don't identify their target market, their specific client base, and then their message just gets completely, unless you have an unlimited budget, you ain't going to reach everybody. And I'd argue to say, if you have an unlimited budget, you still ain't going to reach everybody. So you really have to hone in and focus on what works for your business and try to get in front of your audience. So with that said, what you mentioned videographer. So like what the super agency, it sounds like you do a little bit of everything, but specifically what are your best strengths when it comes to digital marketing? Like, are you working with clients and producing video content for them and then promoting that on all these different social media channels? Are you doing web design, SEO optimization? Are you doing pay-per-click? What does the super agency do, and what does it do best?
Yes.
We do. Yes, to everything. We do everything best. We are gods.
Yeah, we do it all. No. There's definitely levels to this game. There's levels to this industry. I think the further you get into marketing and advertising, you realize that like it is an overall umbrella. I can have people, I won't go too deep into it, but I could have people with stars in their eyes, looking like, wow, it's such an immense industry. And I didn't create the industry. I didn't jump in at the start of the industry, but I came in at a very unique time in the industry. So I was coming in at this time where, if you hear that start of the career, it was in print advertising, right? That's like the dinosaur of age, right? But it still exists. It still had a purpose and a place. The internet still existed at that time, young people who are listening, or younger business owners. It took us a little longer to get online, but we did get online. So I existed in a world where, if I were to be grounded, I'd be grounded, and I'd have to type up my own paper. Ooh. So by the time I got to college, I was pretty proficient with typing, and it's almost like an instrument, so I did learn development, and I'd be like the jock athlete that was well inside of computers and learning. I was learning with the industry, so is the best way to say it. So I had to pick a road, and my favorite road, truth be told, you guys are gonna hear. Ready? Here's what I love most. Here's what Michael loves most.
What do you love most?
Development.
What is it? Website development.
Website development. I love platform development. We call them databases nowadays. Databases. So when I first started in this industry, it was like a landing page, a 4 or 5 page website, a static website. Then we bridged over to these dynamic websites, and now we have databases, and that was about 4 to 5 years ago. I started busting the door down with like, we need to build a database. For example, a great client of mine, still running client to this day, is bocagrove.org. So if you want to see a beautiful example of a website, bocagrove.org. All right. And Van Dutch, that was a beautiful website. I don't think the design has changed to this day. It's one of my favorite brands that we mirrored, Porsche North America, Porsche design. We had a brand, Zealander Yachts. They loved Rolls-Royce. So we mirrored Rolls-Royce design. We had a company, inspected.com. If you check out Inspected, they look like Zoom. We're on it. We do the Zooms every day. Now, to say they're not the same industries. So I want you to know we're not copying. We're not taking Porsche's logo and making it a yacht logo. It's about form and function and design, and a lot to do with the things that we have in our hands, like Apple. So I say bocagrove.org. Check them out. I'll leave that there. I'll let you know the Easter egg there would be Faina.com. So if you go to bocagrove.org, which is a luxury community, check out this website. It is a gorgeous website. The way that it opens with their logos as if you're going into this beautiful space. And that's similar to Faina.com, because when I go to Faina, it's a beautiful property. It's a private property. It's exclusive. You have experiences there.
Don't show me pictures of golf courses now, man. I want to go play. You're giving me the itch. I'm
No,
gonna have to
scroll
go
down just a little bit. Scroll down just a little bit. So I hope it comes through on this. But look at that parallax. So that's what we call a parallax there. So we're taking it's like the sky's moving. How incredible! See the sky? See the clouds moving in there?
Oh, that's pretty
How
cool.
incredible is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a good example
I'm
of
still
just
focused on the golf course here.
yeah, exactly. And that's why
I've never played Boca.
I actually didn't realize you're not going to see it on the podcast. You can't see it, but I'm wearing a I'm wearing a Grayson today. Grayson with the Boca Grove logo. There it is.
So what's your handicap? I know you play
Fairway logo. Oh, I think people would think I'm handicapped the way I play golf. But no. I enjoy golf. I'd say I'm probably like a solid 12. I think I'd lie to
Solid
people and say
12?
I'm like a 10.
impressive.
But no,
It's respectable.
Yeah. On a good day, I could get into the 80s. So
All right. Well, I'm going to be expecting my invite to come join you at Boca Grove, man.
All right, I'm going to give a plug. So Boca Grove, of course, because everyone wants to do Boca Grove. But I'll do a plug. So we're doing the show here. I was just with a friend last night, Zachary Oppenheim. He's a broker in East Fort Lauderdale. That's kind of the real estate connection here. He's going to do a Top Golf event in Pompano on June, I believe, 8th. It's the third Tuesday of the month. So on the third Tuesday of the month, we'll connect that. So hopefully Jeremy can be there. Maybe we can even go live. We'll bring some podcast stuff out and go live. But we're going to do some golf. It's just for fun. It's not business related. A bunch of people come out and just enjoy. It's a daytime thing because it's business related. So yeah, let's get out there. Let's do Top Golf in the middle of June or invite some people out.
You got to send me the details for that. We'll plug it. We'll link it.
I will. So that's my plug there. I want to segue it. So that was my answer was websites. Why video then? You had to pick a poison. So for me, it was video. So I had graphic designers. I had an understanding of Photoshop. I've been doing it for a very long time. The graphics are not my favorite thing. We started
rabbit hole
videos.
runs deep, my friend, in the graphics space.
Yeah. So we got into video pretty early on. And if you notice there, that's a pretty video heavy website. So I was able to kind of mesh the worlds together. But what website development, database development, I wish more people knew that. So it's kind of cool. I'm really glad you have me on the podcast today because there's one thing that people could take away from the podcast or the gem. It's that. And it's my favorite thing to do, which segues into everything else that we do. And I just responded to an email earlier. So I'll segue it into where I'm at today with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, because I'm the marketing director of a really cool branch here in East Fort Lauderdale. And I didn't know what a gold standard brand was. I worked with Create Gold Standard, we work with Gold Standard, but what is an actual gold standard brand? You got to look that up. You got to feel it. I won't take it away or paint a picture. But Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation is a gold standard brand. It's faith, family, Fairway. You always hear companies, it's Fairway family, no, it's faith, family, Fairway. Doesn't matter your denomination, doesn't matter where you come from. That's the most important, right? And then your family. Okay. The hope is that we all become family here at Fairway. So you notice I'm on a podcast right now. I'm talking about the super agency. I've got the Fairway Mortgage logo behind me. We've got Boca Grove. It's kind of a weird thing, right? But we're meshing it all together because if you notice, Boca Grove is a private community, resident only. You can't buy your way into the country club unless you're a property owner. Right. So that goes back to early on in the career. I had the family brokerage.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Is that you telling me that I'm not getting the invite to play it?
So there's a diamond in there. You got to find it. No. We're gonna get you out there.
I could be a guest.
We're gonna get you out there. 100%. We're gonna get you out there. But that's an example of like people start to learn the levels of the game even there. That's a country club, and it is a country club in its essence, but it's also not because it's a private residence. You have to own property within there. So that was an interesting caveat a few years ago when they had come on as a client to learn about that. And so there are things I've learned through clients that I didn't know about industries or didn't know the people who were within them, and I started to see more and more, like a post I did the other day about how important collaboration is, in any given industry. Competition is a nice thing. It's important to be competitive in any given, thing that you do, but collaboration is extremely important at the top. And I've noticed that most of these businesses that I work with, I'm not the only marketing person. I'm not the only person that does the stuff. I'm not the one doing it, and the videography thing is really cool because I use that analogy to say, if you've ever rolled credits on a TV show or a movie, it never just says John Smith. That's it. It says a full team, people going by, whoosh, 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 whoosh. So it's extremely important, and somebody who might say, I'm not ready for, print advertising or local advertising. That makes sense. What are you doing now? Let's peel back the onion on what you're doing so we can get you there. So sometimes when people naysay things or they're negative towards something, it's because they don't have an understanding of it, or maybe they're just not prepared for it. And that's okay. We're all on different journeys. We're all on different paths, and that's a great thing. That's okay. So, yeah. So how do we get into Fairway? About 3 years ago, became the marketing director of Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. I'm going to keep it short on that because I think people can connect a lot of the dots. I get to work with 28 incredible mortgage advisors. All right. I don't call them loan officers, I call them mortgage advisors. I've learned an incredible amount about the industry, what it takes to become a home buyer, what it takes to become an investor, things that create generational wealth, right? So they say that I think it's like 1,500 people a day become millionaires, and 90% of them did it directly through real estate. I want to be a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire. We said Mark Falsetto, he does real estate, right? You got a house from him. He's an entrepreneur, a hospitality person. So I think it's important, like a gym, to kind of work your way up, work out, do more out there and learn more and put more in your bucket, fill up your bucket, empty your bucket, fill your bucket. That's kind of what life is. So that's how we ended up here at Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, where I'll give a shout out to Derek Fertig and Justin Miller. They're the incredible leaders here, as well as the CEO of the company, Steve Jacobson. They're excellent leaders, and people gravitate to that. And I've seen people's lives like completely change. And I don't mean like it's life changing in the essence of like, in the radical way that I would say. It's life-changing in that you're around good people. You're around people that don't want you to be in a silo. You want to collaborate, and you want to create more market share for people. And I think the only way to do that in this market is to be a resource, to be organic, right? To be a real person and educate people on their pain points, find out pain points in the marketplace and educate people. But right now, collaboration is a huge part of that. And I started to notice that no matter what I did, every avenue seemed to go back to real estate. Even crossing with Justin Miller and Derek Fertig and the immense amount of people that we have within our networks that cross over. And I've seen them, in the business that they do. And I don't like to put the numbers out there too much on statistics, because I don't want to not have the number right here and not be 100% correct, but it's so incredibly skewed. Like these 28 incredible professionals, I want to say 7 or 8 of them are top 1% producers in the United States. I mean, that's like almost $100 million a year in business, and it's a relationship business. It's not like a lead-based business. Like, you can do leads in this industry, but it's relationship-based. I mean, you can have 4 to 5 real estate partners that really make or break you, as a professional. And I've noticed that everyone on this team just have incredible relationships, and it bleeds into other people's relationships in the marketplace, which is a fantastic thing, and I'm sure you see that with the magazine that you do, and Absolutely. The platforms that you do.
Battery exhausted. Get your signal back up online, brother. You mentioned something. You keep saying collaboration, and I think that's important, not just across different industries, but within the same industry. And I think this is a wonderful conversation to have, because there are so many different facets within every industry, and it's important to get together and draw on others for ideas, because we're all learning every day and certainly don't know everything. And it's important to surround yourself with others and bounce ideas off each other. And really, that's how we grow, by staying humble and realizing that we don't know everything, and just being open to receiving ideas from every turn,
It's very important in this day and age. We don't want to be on an island. We don't want to be operating in a silo. Life can be hard enough, and as humans we tend to complicate that. I think like Einstein or someone said that, like, as humans we tend to complicate things. It can be more simple, and I think when you surround yourself with good people, like all the people that we've mentioned in this podcast, it's important to know that no matter where you are at any given time, you're standing on the shoulders of giants, that people have gotten you to where you are, even as a young kid, all the way to here. So it's important to kind of remember that, and we're always moving forward. So shake a hand, give a hug, smile at a stranger, help a person where you can, and just do your best and chart the course. Those are my 2 favorite things to say right now.
Do the best and chart your course. I was just thinking,
do your best.
Get out of your head and get out of your own way.
That's it.
Right?
Let someone pass. It's okay. Give someone a smile, ask, how can I help you today? As opposed to we're always so business minded. Is how can I, so self-serving.
How can I serve others? How can I, And in doing that, and that's why teaching is so important, and sharing what you know with others. It just reinforces what you know and makes you more confident. And that's the biggest thing that everybody struggles with as human beings is just being in their own way and getting in their own head and just not letting go and not believing in themselves. And on the north side of 40, I've really come into my own in that regard. In the past, I was very, very shy about putting myself out there. This whole social media space was scary to me. And I kind of took the leap of faith. And now, you got to take advantage of this stuff. I mean, maybe not for your personal life necessarily, but if you're in business and you're not taking advantage of everything that's available out there, you're really missing out. And I think a lot of business owners suffer from, just they're so self-conscious about putting themselves out there and they just, this is not for me. I can't get into this space. I can't do this. And the only way you could do it is by getting in there and making a fool out of yourself and failing over and over and over again. And then eventually you get a little bit better, you get more confident, and it builds and it feeds, and then great things start to happen. But so many people stay in the shadows and don't tap into their true potential for fear of what others think, for fear of failure, all this bullshit. Right. And that's all it is. Right. Because in the end, we only have this ride to go until we pass this earth, and might as well put everything out there and leave it all on the table. Right.
I agree, and have fun, and the internet never forgets. The internet sticks. I get a kick out of that. But in social media world, I don't know if that's 100% true. Put yourself out there, have fun. If you don't, might delete later. That's okay. Enjoy. What I like to tell professionals right now is that I don't know if we're doing a PG podcast, but your crappy video, let's say that your crappy video is better than someone's no video.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, come on, just put it out there, have fun. And again, if you're having trouble or it's a tough thing, you might be approaching it with a bit too much business minded. All right. And I mean, I could TED talk all day, so I appreciate you giving me a lot of the floor and the soapbox, and you've been an excellent podcast host here. But I would leave people with the idea, and this is one of my favorite presentations to do, is social media. Right. Somebody comes to you with an idea. Like if I bust down your door, Jeremy, I got an idea. We're gonna do a video. I got an idea for a video. Here's what the video is gonna be. And Jeremy could legitimately ask me where'd you get this idea from? Did you like them up? Did you give a comment? Are you following them? Did you share this with other people? Are you commenting on other people's page? So it's important. The point of it is it's important to put the media, the social before the media. It's not media social, it's social media. So make sure that you're staying social, you're commenting, engaging, liking, getting further into, that space so that you can see the things that you enjoy. If you're opening up Explore page and you're not seeing things that are relevant to you or your business, change that up. The easiest way to do that is to search by relevant. Search by relevancy. Search by relevant tags and find things that are specific to your business, specific to what you enjoy. I've been playing adult hockey in East Fort Lauderdale at the War Memorial. What a fantastic thing. I'm getting further into hockey stuff. I had a friend, Insane Delane. He sent me some really cool stuff. And I'll leave people with that thought. So how do you feel about that? Put the social before the media. And then I'm going to bring a friend into the video here as we close it out. And I want to show you a gift that I got and a friend as you're closing it out, Jeremy.
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I think it's important, right? Engagement. So many people look at social media and just ingest everything out there, but they're not engaging. And I think in doing that, you're going to get more comfortable and confident in that space. And then, where are you back? What do you got? Oh, you got
all right.
A little cute doggy.
Yeah. So we're on a podcast. You're not going to be able to hear it. Maybe you could sniff or something. Can we do sniffs?
Oh, well, we got the video going, so we're just I want to get my guy over here.
Oh, get him in. Let's go. So I've got a 12-week-old Australian Shepherd. He's Aspen St. Regis Flagler because he's a fancy guy. So that's my little guy. And then I got to show you the power of social media. I've been playing hockey.
Pull him up again. My daughter's
I got to put him up. Here he is. Here's my guy.
I got it. Look over here. Look at it. He can't. Look over here. There you go. That is the cutest thing. Oh my goodness. That's
my little guy. So Aspen for short. And I got to show you the power of social media. Put the social before the media. I had a friend pop up. I was in Dubai and I see Insane Delane. And he says, man, what a cool trip you're having. And this is so neat. And I sent him a video and he says, I can't believe you sent me a video. I thought he was like a country artist. He lives in Tennessee. He's following me. We become buddies. He says he's into hockey. He wears number 12. He likes country music. Let's go. The wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, diamond ring wearing. So we're playing hockey now. Look at this. Insane Delane sent me these cool things. So I just became a homeowner and I got this awesome new thing. So look at the power of social media. I just put out there, I like hockey. I love hockey. It's so cool. I got this cool thing for my house. And of course, I'm going to send him back a gift, make sure he's happy. We got a friendship going. It's not always business, might turn into something in the future, but at the very least, you're making friends just like you and I, Jeremy Wolf. And I know we're going to get to do some great stuff together, but it's about making friends. Oh, that's it. That's all you
Looking forward to it. That's our cue to end it. The battery's exhausted again. So before we go, Michael, please share with our listeners, for anyone out there that's listening, that is looking for some expertise in the marketing realm, that would like to connect with you. How can they find you? How could they connect with you? How could they learn more?
Well, if you want to find me, you can always find me on social media. So you can
Makes
find me on
sense.
social. You can always find me on social, of course, right? So you can get me at Dukes All Day. You can find me at thesuperagency.com. Or, of course, you can go to at Fairway Mortgage Florida. So I know we had a multifaceted conversation. You can always find me online. Ask the experts. Experts, people who are good at what they do, are always willing to help you out. If it's, I saw a funny joke one time, asking a pilot how an airplane works might not be the best question, but having a specific question about, turbulence or maybe lift or drag, and you're going to get a professional answer. You're going to get a sincere and real answer because they're professionals, and that's like any other industry. So if you have a question, please reach out to me. I'm sure Jeremy's available for you as well. I'm sure this will not be the only time that we speak or meet. Maybe we can do this in person one day, and we'll keep it rolling. So seek out professionals who can answer your questions so that you can continue to grow and put the social before the media.
Absolutely. Looking forward to continued collaboration in the future and speaking to you more. Michael, it was a pleasure getting the opportunity to speak with you and learn about what you've been up to here in South Florida. So thanks truly, brother, for joining us today.
You're a rock star. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks to our listeners for tuning in, and we will catch everyone next time on the next episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Everyone take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, Cooper City. To nominate your favorite local business to be featured on the show, go to gnpcoopercity.com. That's gnpcoopercity.com, or call 954-231-3170.